Hey everybody, it's Glidercat and it's time to play. Today I've got a very early preview for you of a game called Astro Colony. Now, I've only discovered this one a few days before posting this video and it looks very cool. I usually save these videos to post on Saturdays, but when the game is this cool looking, I just have to get the video out to you guys as fast as I can. So here it is, and here we go. Astro Colony is not available to play yet, but the development team is currently working on a demo. I'm not exactly sure when the demo is going to be ready or released. I think it's relatively soon. And I hope it's soon because I really want to try out this game like right now. You'll see what I mean as we get further into the video. You can wishlist and follow Astro Colony on Steam today if you'd like. And at the time of this recording, they're also running a Kickstarter campaign. I'll post a link to that in the description. That can be really important in helping a game like this make it to release. So please do check that out if this is a game that you might be interested in supporting. Now, last quick note here. Keep in mind that everything you see in this early preview video is pre-alpha gameplay. So things will likely change substantially as the game is further developed. I mention that because if you're watching this video 6 or 12 months after I originally posted it, then the game probably looks much different now. So if that's the case, check around my channel because I probably have more newer content about Astro Colony because I know I'm going to want to play this once I get my hands on it. All right, so let's check out the game trailer that they put out for the Kickstarter campaign, and then we'll come back and talk more about Astro Colony. Here we go with the trailer. Okay, so that was the trailer, and wow, did it move fast in some places. Through the rest of this video, I'll just share some additional content from the development team. Their YouTube channel has a lot of videos. You can find that on their website, which I'll have a link in the description for that too. Now, it's a little hard to take it all in from the trailer, so let's talk a bit about what the game is all about. Now, the description of the game they put on Kickstarter is as follows, and I'm going to paraphrase this a bit. Astro Colony is an endless simulation focused on exploration, automation, and management. It's like Raft, except in Astro Colony, you get resources early on from floating asteroids. You then use these early resources to expand and automate your space station along the lines of Factorio. Then, once you've generated the power required to explore the universe, somewhat like space engineers, you will discover planets and extract unique resources from them to progress even further. So that's kind of the Kickstarter description. And they mentioned some of the games that they've been inspired by. Factorio, Raft, Space Engineers. I'm sure there's more. And then there's also a pretty good fact on their Kickstarter page that describes the gameplay in more depth. Here's some of what they say there. Again, I'm paraphrasing pretty heavily here. It says you begin on a floating platform that will become your station and start small by manually extracting resources from the asteroids floating around you. Then, as you begin to craft your first devices, your early goal will be to establish oxygen and electricity production. With that established, you can then move on to crafting new devices which help process materials for you in an automated fashion. As you progress, you'll gain science points that you'll use to unlock technologies from the tech tree. And then they mention elsewhere that the tech tree currently has over 70 unique technologies that you can unlock through research. That tends to change over time with early games, so I would expect maybe even more to be added as the game makes its way to release. But who knows? It says 70. That's plenty. Then they say that one of the early machines you're likely to build is going to be the asteroid catcher, for example, which reduces the amount of manual work you need to do to hunt asteroids down and also nets you more resources from them as you kind of process those asteroids for materials. And that's pretty much the pattern of all factory games, right? You start out manually and a bit inefficiently, and then you use machines gradually to automate more and more of your operations. So that all makes sense. Kind of a factory automation game here. Now, once you have oxygen and electricity established, and you've started to automate some of the manual resource gathering, it's time to focus on building some engines for your station so you can begin to explore the universe around you. As you explore, you'll find planets where you can set up mining colonies to gather more resources and possibly discover more advanced materials. Now, as you're building out your station and mining outposts, you'll have all the machines, conveyors, and other equipment that you're used to from other factory automation games. Again, I just mentioned conveyors, but all that kind of stuff is in the game. And in addition to those things, you'll also be able to build transport spiders, as they're called in Astro Colony, which can assist you with moving any of the resources around your factories. If you don't want to use belts or you run into a situation where you need something a little more flexible, they've got these transport spiders. And they seem to function much in the way that drones do in other factory games, if you're familiar with using drones, say in like Factorio. Eventually, you're going to want to bring some actual astronauts onto your station to assist with your operations. And astronauts are kind of the brains of your operation, so you'll be using them for everything that requires creativity and knowledge. There are currently 3 types of astronauts. I'm not sure if they're going to add more or not, but they've got 3 planned for now. First one's engineers, which are required for advanced construction tasks. Then you've got cooks who work in the kitchen to produce high-protein food for your astronauts. And then scientists who, as you might imagine, work in the laboratory researching new technologies. Now, in order to bring astronauts aboard your station, you're going to need to build a docking station, which allows the first humans to come aboard. And then I believe you train them into one of those 3 professions I mentioned, engineers, cooks, or scientists. And then every astronaut has needs you'll be required to fulfill, and those are oxygen, food, and sleep. We've already mentioned oxygen earlier, and for sleep, you'll need to build some hibernation chambers so they have a place to rest. Now, the last one is food, and as you might have guessed, yep, you're going to need some farms. So you can do farming in this game as well. The developers mentioned that you'll discover animals in the game too, but I don't know if they'll be used for food or not. I guess it depends on how good they taste or something, but there are supposed to be animals in the game. I didn't see any footage of that. Anyway, it sounds like there's going to be tons of stuff to do in Astro Colony, and it seems like it's going to be a very, very cool game. I can't wait to play it. Now, there's a few more things I want to touch on, and then we will wrap up with this very early preview. I should mention that they are planning to support multiplayer. I usually pass over that. I don't tend to play multiplayer games, but they do say they're going to support multiplayer. So this is a game you're going to be able to play with your friends if you like. And the game world of Astro Colony is procedurally generated, and it's also a voxel game. So every planet and asteroid is made of fully destructible voxels, so you can interact with the world and terraform, all that good stuff. There's going to be different biomes with higher and lower chances of generating asteroids, planets, and resources. So the game will likely be a bit different each time you play. We'll have to wait and see how many of these things are configurable in the game settings. I didn't really see any information about that. So like if you wanted to toggle how rich the ore deposits are, for example, or how many events, which we're about to talk about, happen, I don't know if that's all going to be configurable in the game settings. Hopefully it will. We'll have to wait and see. And then, like I just said, there are also these cosmic events that you're going to need to contend with as you play. I won't spoil them all, but here we can see a station getting sucked into a black hole. And it all just looks very cool to me. So I think that's pretty nice. Anyway, I haven't seen that before. That looks pretty sweet. And then lastly, we have some footage of the spaceship that you'll be able to use to move to nearby planets that are around your station. And the developers mentioned that you'll also be using the spaceship just to get around your space station once it grows to be pretty large. Now, elsewhere, as I was researching, they mentioned that they see the game as being a bit like Sim City, but where you can move and travel with your city. So from the sounds of those two comments, I'm guessing you can build some pretty huge space stations, and that sounds pretty cool. I mean, if you need a little spaceship to get around your station, then I'm guessing these things can get pretty cool. I'm not sure how many astronauts you need. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't want to speculate too much here. So that is pretty much what I wanted to show you about Astro Colony. I want to get this game on your radar. If you're like me, then this is definitely a game you want to put on the wish list and keep an eye on it as it moves into early access. I'm not sure what the target date is. It might be on the Kickstarter page, so check that out. If you enjoy this content, please do give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. Now, as I post this, and as I mentioned at the top, Astro Colony does have a Kickstarter campaign underway. I believe the Kickstarter ends on July 29th, 2021, but check out the page. I'll put a link in the description so you can check it out. So check that date, make sure I didn't make a mistake there, but I'm pretty sure it's July 29th, 2021 that the Kickstarter campaign ends. Now, as is common with the Kickstarter, if you contribute early, you'll be rewarded with earlier access to the game as well as earlier access to the demo, I believe. I thought I saw mention that the demo was going to be released to Kickstarter contributors somewhere midway through the campaign. And as this video posts, I think we're going to be pretty close to the midpoint of the Kickstarter campaign. So look for that and check it out. And I think getting access to the demo, as I recall, wasn't that big of a contribution. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Now, there's a whole bunch of information about the game itself and the campaign on their Kickstarter page. So again, if you're interested in Astro Colony at all, I'd highly suggest checking out the link to the Kickstarter page. In fact, I think there's more information about the game on the Kickstarter page than there is currently on the Steam store page. Now, in addition to those two places, I'll add a link to the game's website. From there, you'll be able to find links to the Discord, social media, and all that good stuff. Check that out. And then one of the main goals of my channel is getting the word out about amazing games like Astro Colony. If you're familiar with the channel, then you probably already know this. But if you're not familiar and you want to learn more about amazing new games just like this one, be sure to check out my First Look playlist. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. And maybe consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. That way you'll get to learn about the next gem I find, just like Astro Colony, because I continually research upcoming games, and then I share the very best ones I find with you guys right here on the channel. So give that a thought. And with that, this is Glidercat signing off saying thanks so much for watching. I really, really mean it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.